Is this where I'm supposed to sit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh. My hair's a mess. Somebody better help me out if it's looking all crazy.
Coach, how has this trip to Vegas prepared you for Big 12 play, and as you're getting closer and closer to Santa Clara with such a great team, how has that game prepared you?
Yeah, I think both games have prepared us because Rutgers was really big in physical and athletic. It was very much Big Ten basketball, and that is going to prepare us for Big 12 basketball because Big 12 is physical as well. And I think we knew going in that the physical piece of it and the size was going to bother us and was going to be a weakness for us, and it certainly showed that early in the game. But I was super proud of our kids for just adjusting and making the adjustments that we asked them to make, and just the fight and grit that they played with. Santa Clara, on the flip side, was really disciplined. They were very fundamentally sound. They worked the ball really well, and they did not miss many shots. And so, I think that was a really good look for us as well, to have to not make our own mistakes. And we told our kids that before the game started, that Santa Clara wasn't going to make many mistakes, but if we made a mistake, they were going to make us pay for it. And I think we saw that early as well. So I think both games really helped us see that our kids can make in-game adjustments and how hard they fought in the fourth quarter to win basketball games.
And what does that say about the resiliency of this team in being able to fight back consistently?
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that they are never out of it. I think they are really believing in their defense and their understanding that they have to get stops in order to win basketball games. There was a point in the Santa Clara game that I really challenged them in a timeout, that I felt like they were very fatigued. We were very tired, and I felt like we were just hoping they missed. And I challenged our kids to really step up and to get stops and earn stops, and I thought they really intensified their defense, and I think that's whenever we kind of made a run and caught up, and then we just started making big shots. So really proud of our kids.
What have you seen from this team so far this year that makes you feel like they are meeting or exceeding the expectations that you have of them?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I think number one, the defensive buy-in. I think they have definitely decided that they want defense to be their identity, and not just the full court press, but also just in the half court and getting stops. I think they are really defending at a high level, and they're defending a lot of different looks. So that's been really positive. The other thing I think is the unselfishness that they're playing with. In Vegas, in both games, we had different people step up in a very small amount of time that really were difference makers for us to be able to win the game. It just turned the momentum. Saga Ukanen was one of them. Logan Johnson was one of them, and then of course, I thought that. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. For crying out loud, Ashley Chevalier. I thought Ashley Chevalier did a great job in both games of just really playing within herself and making some big plays for us. I completely went blank on that. You're going to have to edit that, Sean.
Hey, Coach, best start, obviously, since 2019 for you and this team. I guess take me through, with having a tough start to the season, knowing that you got a lot of new players, a lot of young players, and then you deal with a slew of injuries as well, and everything, all these negatives, and yet you come out right now to a 7-0 start. I guess just how proud are you of this team to battle through all that adversity and still be able to get the wins? Yeah,
I'm super proud of them. We talked about this early when we were going through that adversity, that, hey, if this is the adversity that we have to face, we're really glad it's happening early and that we can learn from it and adjust. I'm sure it's not the last adversity that we will go through before, throughout this season. But I do think that they're showing some maturity, and I think they're growing up right before our eyes, to be quite honest. I almost feel like throughout the 40 minutes that we play a game, you see them grow up and mature and really take their game to a different level. But I'm really just proud of the unselfishness that they're playing with, the grit that they're playing with, and a lot of the toughness, and which is all things that we really addressed early with them that we were not seeing.
But it not being a true road game, I guess, how did you guys kind of take that? I mean, you're, once again, you're not sleeping in your own beds. You are taking a trip. I guess, how do you kind of approach that, being able to get the wins on the road? Obviously, 3-8 last year on the road. I guess, how do you take, this recent road trip and have that success from it?
Well, we had very short turnaround to play Santa Clara, and so we really did a one-day prep within about 2 hours on game day. So I think that was really important for our kids to mentally be able to focus and to maybe walk through in a ballroom, instead of a conference room, instead of on the court. And not that you have to do that on the road, but I do think that it's just out of the ordinary, right? It disrupts your routine. So I think that our kids are understanding that piece of it. The other part is just the unity that you get from road games. You eat every meal together. We have meetings at all times. I mean, I'm in control of them the entire time that we're on the road, and I think that they're recognizing that and using it to their advantage and saying, hey, this is a time that we can bond and get stronger and closer. And then also just going out there and playing in a foreign area, an arena or against a crowd that maybe you're not used to, or even officials that you don't know. I think all of those things can add to just learning how to play on the road in a hostile environment.
And the young nucleus that you guys had last year with Jasmine Shavers, Bailey Maupin coming into their own this year, how have you seen them grow just from being freshmen now to sophomores?
Yeah, they both are really being coachable, and not that they weren't last year, but as freshmen, you're just kind of taking it all in and trying to figure out like what the heck coach is talking about, and like, do I really believe what she's saying, and and these types of things. And but this year they are not only being coachable, but they're really taking the brunt at times too. I've probably gotten after a Bailey harder this year, Jasmine Shavers too, for that matter, than I ever did last year, because I showed them a little grace probably as a freshman, and it probably had my eyes on some upperclassmen that needed to be leaders for us, and those two kids are doing that for us. And so is Kyla Freelon. I really got after her in a timeout in Vegas, and she responded really, really well. And I just think that shows a lot of maturity on their part, and it shows that they really want to win, and they are buying into being Lady Raiders and what this program is about, and being great leaders for us even as sophomores.
Coach, looking ahead to this week, UC Irvine, one of the best defenses in their division. Kind of what have you seen from them that's made them so successful on the defensive side of the ball with turnovers? And then how do you kind of combat that?
Yeah, they're really athletic. I think they're fast. Their guards are fast. They constantly move. They work extremely hard. And I think they try to just disrupt some things. They throw different defenses at you. They run some man. They run some zone. They press a little bit. And so, yeah, I think that we're going to have to, be composed. We're going to have to definitely play at our pace, which is still a faster pace, but it's got to be under control, and we got to take care of the basketball. Again, that's one of the areas that we've got to just continue to work on, is our turnovers and making sure that we're not beating ourselves. So I think this will be a really good test for us.
And then looking at Houston Christian, kind of a low-scoring offense to begin the season, but over the past 2 games, they've scored 80 points in each of them. Kind of what have you seen that's improved their offense, and how does your defense kind of attack that? I'm
going to be super honest with you. I haven't watched any film on them yet, because I'm a one game at a time person, but my staff certainly has. I have noticed that their scores have been getting higher in point production, so I'll have to take a look at that, after the UCI game and see what we need to do. But at the end of the day, all of these games, non-conference, it has to be about us and us getting better every day.
Coach, when you look at the different ways that Jordan has contributed this season, how similar does it feel to, having Big Cat do those type of things last season?
Yeah, I think Jordan is really doing a lot of different things for us, and her versatility is obviously something that we were attracted to. I think she can really defend different people for us. We've asked her to defend the other players' best guards. We've asked them to defend the other players' best post players. And what I love about it is that she can get the rebound then on defense and go with it on offense, and can lead the break. She's stretching out and shooting the three really well for us, and just being that all-around versatile player for us. And we're also asking her to be a big-time leader for us too. So I think she and Big Cat played high school ball together, so I'm sure she would love that comparison, but she's doing a lot of really great things for us.
And you mentioned Saga a little bit, especially that game against Rutgers. Just what did you see from her in that, and just how critical were her 8 points in that game?
Yeah, I see in Saga, I just see a ultimate team player. She's always has great spirit about her. She never lets playing time get to her, and she's always prepared. And when she came in and she took advantage of her minutes, and she knew what I was needing too when she went in the game, because they were running a zone against us, and we just weren't hitting from the outside very well at that point. And for her to hit back-to-back threes really opened it up for us, and gave us all some confidence, because we ended up hitting 9 in that game, but it certainly didn't feel like it early in the game. But I was just really pleased with just her effort and just how positive she is. And like I said, she's just the ultimate team player.
It's kind of funny saying it after the injuries y'all have had, but it feels like there's a lot of depth on this team with Saga and Elena and just other players all the way around. Logan Johnson, how have they really shown up for you guys, especially in Vegas? Logan getting the Dominator Award.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by this team is so unselfish. We knew depth was going to be a strength of ours going into this game, going into the season. Losing JoJo and Jazzion, and even with Achol being slowly coming back, those were things that were unforeseen for us. And so we've really had to make some adjustments, but I think our kids have really bought into playing at the pace we want to play at, playing great defense and sharing the basketball. So everybody is seeing where their role is and how they can help us. And again, there's not very many teams, especially this day and age with the transfer portal being so easily accessible, that would stick with it and buy in and just be like, I just want to help in any way that I can. And they're finding great value in that. And I would say that that's a credit to our coaching staff as well, of just really emphasizing the value that each kid has on our team, and understanding that, when their opportunity comes, that they need to be prepared to walk through the door and whatever we have to do to get the win. And I just think it's great that that's what we're seeing right now.
And as good as it was to, have a road trip, how does it feel to be back in front of Red Raider Nation?
Yeah, we always love to come home, right? We love to come home. I love coming home off of wins, because I hope that gets people excited about what we're doing, and that more and more people will come. I think our crowds have been really good, but I'm never going to be satisfied until this thing is full. So I hope that they'll come out and help us out on Wednesday and Friday this week.
Coach, could you talk about Jada Win and just the uniqueness of her situation this week of playing against her dad, who's an assistant coach for Irvine?
Yeah, so as soon as we signed Jada, we called her dad and asked if he wanted to get on our schedule, just because I know as a college coach how hard it is to see your kid play whenever they play for somebody else. And he jumped at the chance. We were so glad that it worked out. He might be second guessing himself now, just because it's real now. And I'm telling you, I've had to do it before too, and preparing to try to beat your daughter is really, really hard. And I've asked him, how's it feeling, and how are you feeling this week? And he's like, it's just so awkward. And I said, yeah, it really is. And it's going to be one of those things where he's a competitor. She's a competitor. They're certainly going to want to win on both sides, but I'm sure he's going to want Jada to play the best game she's ever played, as long as they get the win.
And kind of talk about what she's done for your team and what her contribution in Vegas too, because she had some big moments.
Yeah, Jada's really coming into her own. It's been hard for Jada. It's been hard for me, because I know the player that we recruited, and we really know that she's going to impact us in a really big way. And she is starting to. She came in and had an injury when she first got here, and we had to sit her out for 6 weeks, and that really set her back, and not so much because of her, but because our team just started clicking together. So it's been hard to get her significant minutes since she's been back, to get her back in shape, to get her in the flow, to get her in the rotation. But I thought she really did a great job this weekend in Vegas of taking the minutes that she was given and really fighting for us. And she showed a lot of different things that she can do for us. She defended really well. She rebounded well. She moved the basketball against Rutgers zone really well for us, and I was so glad to see her get a 3-ball to go down, because that's what she does, is she shoots it, but she just hasn't had that rhythm yet. So for her to be able to have all those successes in Vegas, I think you're really going to start seeing her impact our team a lot more. You good? Good? Okay. Thank you, guys.